Smile! Hey guys, we are live for Waste Not Wednesday. We go live every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, and we take things that we got for free and we turn them into home decor. Today we went shopping in the barn by the church, and Zeb has a drawer.
This is, just an old drawer. We don't actually even know what it came out of. I'm assuming that the piece is long gone because we're like, we don't know what this goes to.
I have no clue. And then we've got these 4 feet. If you guys have been following the renovation that we did at the church, that's going to be our shop, there was like this piece on a pony wall, which is like a half wall. And it had these little...
It had like a rail on the top, and this held the rail up.
And we saved these because we tore the wall down. And so we're going to use those as feet. And then I just have a tray that was left at the church that's been hanging around in the barn. And so we're going to make these over. I'm planning on using a paint inlay. I'm going to redeem myself or redeem us from last week. Or maybe I should just say redeem Zeb. Whatever. I'm using a paint inlay. I'm going to show you how easy they are. And Zeb's going to make like a standing tray. And I think he might stencil it. I'm not sure. Anyways, super excited to be here. And then we're going to also talk about next quarter's craft kits in a little bit. So we're super excited. Zeb, get to telling them what you're doing.
So these are the feet. I'm just going to attach them to the bottom. You can see this is broken on the back, which might be why this drawer got discarded. I don't have my nail gun here. It's over at the church. So I'm going to have to, there's a little bow here. I'll nail that later. Just know that's going to happen. You could just use a hammer and nails. I'm just going to use my nail gun to keep that bow out of there. And then for now, we're just going to glue these on. Where did my glue go? Did I leave that in the garage? Left the glue in the garage. Had it in hand and left it in there.
All right. Well, you want to go grab that?
Yep. Because I'm just going to glue these on, and then I'm going to screw them from the top with a little pilot hole and a countersink situation and some screws.
So I'm just painting.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were done.
I was just going to say they had these big like dowel screws in them when they were attached to the rail or whatever it was. I pulled these out. They're way too huge. That's for like a coffee table.
I'm just painting this with Haint Blue. This is the new cottage colors with a built-in sealer. You can absolutely use it with the paint inlays, and it doesn't take quite as long. You don't want to let them sit in there. And then I'm using this sheet left over from other projects. I actually don't remember. Caitlin, is this Birds of Paradise? Which paint inlay is this? Anyways, I like it a lot. I used it on a green piece not too long ago, and then I also used it on a little vintage mint piece. Today I'm going to test it out with Haint Blue, and I'm going to try, I've never done it before, but I'm going to try a gray dry brush around the edge. We'll see if I like it. If I don't like it, then I can always just repaint the edge and do a white dry brush. I don't have any white paint here because I took all my cottage colors white paint and put it, it's at the church because I was painting that mantle from yesterday's video. And I didn't need to take all of my white because it just didn't take that much. Usually it takes like 3 or 4 coats, but for whatever reason, I only had to do 2 coats on that mantle. So I have tons of paint left over.
So all my glue bots are also, all the tools are over
I do
there.
have a little squeezy bottle for you.
Is it
you want that? Yeah.
Yes, I could probably use that. Perfect.
You got that from the grocery store.
Yeah, it's those little condiment bottles work great if you don't have a glue bot. And these are what, like $1 down at the grocery store?
Maybe $1.50. I don't know. I'm using the 035 at Klingon. We always get asked what brushes we're using, so I figure I'll just tell you. 035. And you can pick up all of the paint and products that we use to make over our stuff at JamiRayVintage.com. I'm using Haint Blue. Did Caitlin put which inlay this is? I don't know. Maybe she did. Maybe I missed it, but we'll see. I should remember all these names, but there's so many new products. I can't even remember all my own names. Okay, so you want to put the inlay in when your paint is applied liberally and it's wet, so you got to go quick. Lucky for me, this fits perfectly in here. I tested it out ahead of time. Actually, well, I'm a little crooked. It fits perfectly if you put it in perfectly. Once you put it down, you kind of got to commit. I'm going to go grab the brayer. See, this is where it's going down in there. I think the Haint Blue is going to be a good companion to that.
So I'm going to screw these from the top. This glue, if I let it sit and dry and wasn't going to continue finishing this in a live stream video, will set up in about 24 hours. This is Titebond 2 wood glue. It's my favorite. Titebond 3 is also good. It's made for exterior use and indoor if you want, but it dries really quickly. And this has a longer open time in case I mess up.
My brayer scraped the side.
Okay. Right now, let's see if the glue will hold that on there well enough for me to flip this. Oh, look how cool that's looking.
All right, so Caitlin said this inlay is called Paradise. So Birds of Paradise was close. Pretty proud of myself. All right, I need to brag.
All right, see how good that little squeezy condiment bottle worked? If you don't have a glue bot, which I don't have right now, it's over at the shop. The glue bot, the only difference between that is the spout comes out the top. You probably see me use it if you've been following the channel very long. And you can glue vertical like this.
I actually prefer these condiment squeezy bottles. When we're doing our craft kits, we fill little teeny pots with all the things you need for the craft kit. And these ones work so much better than the first in, first out for that application. So I like them. I'm just getting this wet in case you guys are wondering what I'm doing here.
And sorry, lots of things going on Waste Not Wednesdays sometimes so we can fit it into an hour. This is a countersink drill bit. And it's going to go down in and give me a pilot hole and give me a recess so I can sit the head of the screw down flush.
Let's see. I'm just seeing if there's any questions. All right, there is not. So you want to get your inlay wet and then kind of let it dry out and then get it damp again before you pull it, kind of like a temporary tattoo. You've ever used those.
I'm just going to do one screw on this. You could do as many as you want if you're doing your own project, but one with that glue is going to be really sturdy for what we're doing. This is for like decor.
I was using like a squirt bottle when I first did these, but I've discovered that a damp rag is better because a squirt bottle just gets it too wet. So, well, that's setting up. I'm going to paint. Do I want to paint the edge and deal with wet sides? I don't know. I guess I will. I'll try to be good and neat. The nice thing about this Cottage Colors is it has a built-in sealer. So all I have to do is seal the paint inlay. Cottage Colors are a mineral paint. It's a single step paint, and it's not like a chalk paint because it does have a sealer in it. Oh, the JRB subscribers private group is on Facebook. It's the same as channel members on YouTube. And it's just a way to support our channel. It's like $5 or $6 a month, depending on where you live in the world. We don't do the billing. Facebook or YouTube, depending on where you sign up, does. And you get printables every month that you can print out and use for crafts. And then you also get 2 extra live videos. The next channel member and JRB subscriber live video will be next Tuesday, 10 a.m. So that is what that is. I don't know why it keeps inviting people. We are not doing it, but a lot of our followers keep getting invitations to that group. But that's what it is.
All right, so countersink through the top of the drawer. I could fill this now if I wanted to. I probably won't. We'll just paint over that. And these screws are sunk down into the drawer. And now we've got these really nice and tightly secure. And then once the glue dries, that's not going anywhere.
If you're wondering kind of where you would use that, I think that'd be so cute on the middle of a dining table because it's not super wide. Or you could use it to put flowers in or on like a coffee table or ottoman.
Well, it could also be like your tray over there. I'll spin the camera around and show you what I'm pointing at. And you can see breakfast.
Oh gosh, it's
you
a
can
hot
see
mess
breakfast
over
on the table too.
Yeah, Zeb had oatmeal for breakfast. It's still there.
Jami has this, what is that, a tulip tray?
Yeah, it's a grower crate. Thanks for the super chat, reclaiming the bluegrass. She said, Church Reno, thank you both for everything you do. We love y'all. Thank you so much for that super chat.
All right, it's kind of dim because the windows are making it go crazy. But can you see that tray over there? It would work almost like that.
I actually saw a tray like that was in like a French flea market. Somebody I follow had it, and in the middle it had like a handle, kind of like the craft kit, which we can show them here in a little bit. Did I paint all the sides? Okay. It could be a cat bed too.
Oh, or a Cody bed. Cody, come here. Do you fit in here?
You want to see if Cody will fit in that?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys have done our craft kits quarterly before, we recently changed billing. So if you haven't re-signed up, you have to re-sign up. A couple of differences with our new craft kits is we've included the shipping in the price. So the price has gone up, but you're going to pay the same because there's free shipping. And then we also have an option if you just want to do it the one time. It's a little bit more expensive, but then you don't have to have the quarterly subscription. This is what's coming in the next kit. And then we're going to give you paint and a stencil to finish it. Everybody's been asking for a tote. And so it's going to come all apart, and then we'll show you how to glue it together. He's got little reinforcements in there.
It will be a little different than that. This is my mock-up that I made by hand, and the CNC machine, when I'm starting to cut out hundreds, I'm going to change the design just slightly, but it won't affect the shape of it. It'll just be how it locks in together on the edges.
Yeah, he's going to make it kind of interlocking, so that way when you glue it, it fits in there. Cody, you're such a good boy.
Yeah.
Look.
So it'll be fairly straightforward to put it together. This is a little small, this drawer. Cody would need a bigger drawer.
Hold on just a second. I need to say one thing before I
Okay,
forget. If you want to sign up for this, just go to JamiRayVintage.com. In the menu, click subscriptions and click craft kit. That's also where you can sign up if you want to do our business coaching that we do on Facebook. That sign up's there as well. And Caitlin will drop the link. And if you have any questions, Caitlin's on here. She knows all about the craft kit.
Rex is over there. He's like, pick me up, pick me up. Dude's almost 50 pounds. I'm not picking him up.
Yeah, sorry, Rex, you don't fit.
All right, I'm going to start painting this because I'm going to do some stenciling on mine.
Oh, yes. And Caitlin did mention it. Another change is before, when you signed up for the craft kit, you got billed right away. And then you got billed right before it went out. Now it's just going to bill you every 3 months. So whenever you sign up, it's going to bill you 3 months later, 3 months later, 3 months later. And then they will just all ship just the way they always have. It goes the end of January, end of April, end of July, end of October.
It seems confusing, but it's a much better program than we had before.
Well, it's all through our website and managed through it. And last time we had the website or the program we were using dropped people.
Yeah. So people
they were like, where's my craft kit? And then they realized they hadn't been billed. So we had to find a new service.
Okay, I'm going to start painting. I think
Cody does fit. He fits in most places, including under the fence.
Yeah.
We've got to do some pavers underneath the gate because he dug a hole. I was outside cleaning up the grass around my lavender out front, and there's Cody. He's like, look at me, I got out of the yard. Caitlin says it's actually much easier, just different. Yep, the craft kit, we're super excited about it. Caitlin actually spent countless hours getting the app, the programming, the code, everything correct so it ran properly, and finding out which was the best service to use. So thanks, Caitlin, for that. Tracy says, that's great. I was dropped and wondering why. Yep, that's what happened. Thanks for signing back up, Patty. We're super excited. I don't know what we'll do, the one that comes out in October, but it might be something fun for the holiday season because we always like to do something that works well with that. All right.
I'm going to go aviary on mine.
Shocking.
I love it. It's like my favorite.
It matches your shirt almost.
Yeah, this is like an olive green. And this is the aviary is a little bit brighter. If you wanted it to be more olivey, you could add a little bit of yellow to aviary. Cake batter works really well to get that color. But
all right, I'm going to go ahead and peel this off. If you were doing it at home and you weren't crunched for time, you can let it dry all the way and then get it damp again. But I have found with cottage colors that it actually works okay. You don't have to let it sit like super long. And it just gives you kind of an age distressed look.
So I watered this paint down. You guys might have just seen me do that. The lid wasn't on tight and it was really thick. And that's why it's not any, anything to do with some fancy painting technique.
I got like water puddling on there. I think I'm going to pull that off.
This has dovetailed joinery on here.
Because I don't want it to be super wet and drippy. I'm going to pull off the water that's puddling on top of the inlay. I'm going to try to do this right. All right, let's see. Oh, I need like a butter knife to peel up the edge. This is the multifunctional kitchen tool.
It's perfect.
We get all of our silverware from the thrift store because it's used all different ways. I will show this to you up close so you can see it. Oh, it did transfer pretty well. I think I got it a little too wet in a few spots, but it worked for what I wanted it to do. I also shifted, but look, ta-da! I think it turned out pretty great. And that just took a few minutes. And I can also use that paint inlay again on another project. It'll just get lighter with each use. Sorry, I just noticed that the underside of my handles.
You're going to have to do some fancy stuff to that. You did that too quick. We're like 18 minutes in.
All right, well, I'll paint the bottom.
And you've
it's upside down.
You've already completed your first project.
Well, I'm going to dry brush it.
You're going to need to go paint that tote.
The tote. Well, no, I don't want to paint it until I know exactly how I want to finish it for the craft kit.
Well, I can make more.
That is true, but I don't want to do it twice.
Okay.
Ain't nobody got time to do it twice. We are like in crunch time with the church. If you guys watched the last video, did you like that we kind of encompassed a paint project with a church reno update? Because I think that's kind of how we're going to do it. Because we do need to finish a bunch of paint projects for the church, but a lot of people want to know what's going on with the renovation. So it's a great way to kill two birds with one stone. Why did I paint the wood grain? Oh, Terry, are you new here? I paint wood a lot because I like to.
It's pretty much all we do on the channel.
I can't stop. But you could stay.
And home renovations.
Oh, yeah, and home renovations. I buy junk, I paint wood, and I renovate old things. Dana says it was an informative, packed video. Perfect. I'm glad. I really, it was not clickbait, being afraid of dark wax. I was really afraid to use it for a long time because I don't like it to look poop smeary. Have you ever seen that? Where it's just so dirty looking. And the cottage colors really, you have to be careful not to wipe off too much. They really give you a lot of control with the dark wax, and it saves you a step of having to seal it before you dark wax. So that fireplace mantle was super quick.
So I'm thinking I might two-tone.
No, on the drawer,
here.
The wood grain on the drawer.
Oh, yeah,
also
it's not precious. It's an inlay, or not an inlay.
It's not solid wood. It's
veneer.
Veneer.
Yeah.
But even if it was solid wood, we'd still paint it.
Yep, true facts.
So
I'm thinking of doing the inside a different color. Should I two-tone the feet? What do you think?
I would do it all the same color and then paint the inside something fun.
Okay.
Did you paint the knob too?
No, I took the knob off. It's brass.
Oh, okay. That's cute.
It's kind of like a Art Deco style, mid-century, leaning into mid-century.
$144 Decor said they love the last video, the animals, the plants. I think today we're going to, that's going to be up in the rafters, which kind of leaves me to not have much to do. So I'm going to be outside pulling weeds and with the window open in case anything should happen while he's in the rafters.
She's always worried I'm going to fall. I mean, knock on wood, haven't fallen yet.
I just want to make sure you're safe. So
I'm like Mowgli over here. I spent my childhood in a tree.
Zeb really is good. I would fall flat on my face. So he's going to be up in the rafters doing some work because we've got to get that painted. We've got to pull off all the old electrical and stuff that's not attached anymore.
Mostly I'm going to be up there with a broom knocking down cobwebs and dust off of them before we paint them.
Yeah, and we've only done primer on some of the walls inside, so we're going to get that dust off before we do final paint.
We're hoping by the end of the week that the whole chapel has primer and paint on it.
Well, our goal, I was telling Zeb, I said, we need to find a stopping point so that way we can have some fun with the kids this weekend. So what's our goal? And we decided our goal was to have it all painted, which sounds like a huge lofty goal, but with the paint sprayer, it's actually fairly quick.
Yeah, if you watch yesterday's video, I did that whole wall. I mean, I got to get on the ladder and do the top part, but I did that whole wall in about, what, 7-8 minutes, maybe less. It goes quick.
Would it be cute next time to do like an ornament holder or a Christmas card holder? I don't know how I'd come up with that, but, or do we want to do
You just
something
show it to me and I
entertaining?
make it. For the craft kit?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the craft kit?
We always need to plan ahead. I've also thought about doing like a stencil of the month club, but I told Zeb I would never do it unless I had all the stencils designed out.
So maybe by the fall, once we're moved in and the grand opening's behind us, the fall is usually a busy time too. There's lots of holidays, lots of sports. Odelia's a varsity cheerleader, so she's cheering at all the varsity games now.
Can you add the dust, so the decrepit dust, to clear wax to have the same effect? It would be similar, not exactly the same, a little bit more texture to the like grunge effect. But yeah, basically the principle is the same. If you were going to use decrepit dust, you would want to make sure it was all the way sealed with clear wax, and then apply clear wax in the areas that you want to put the decrepit dust and sprinkle it in and then wipe it back. I haven't used the decrepit dust a ton, but that would be my suggestion.
All right, what color do you think? I need to go look and see. I'll go grab a few colors and let you guys decide. Since we're on the live stream, I'm going to give you a voice. I'm going to go get some colors, and then we'll see what we paint the inside here.
Will you be able to use the sprayer on the rafters? Yes.
Yeah, I'll haul it up there with an extension cord. What I'll do is I'll put like a sheet of plywood down on there to hold all the tools and me while I'm painting so I don't fall through.
Mary, you can send that picture if you need help to Facebook, and then we will get to you as we have time and we'll look at it. A lot of times people ask for our advice, but it's really hard because if I'm not there, like I don't see where it's going. And I really only have like one look. Like if you want farmhouse
or French country, you can do
French country. I'm probably going to tell you to paint it white or paint it blue and white.
You can also do a pretty mean Gustavian finish.
Green and white. I only have a few looks. I've actually had people ask me to help design their house, and I'm like, basically just everything that's in my house. That's the only look I have. I'm definitely not a designer. I don't have a lot of tricks up my sleeve. They said liquid sunshine, 144 decor. I'm not picturing liquid sunshining happen.
I don't even know if we have any of that
liquid sunshine here.
That's the trouble I'm having. We're running low on a lot of colors again.
Well, I've been trying to use up the colors that we have. I'm just drying my paint, and then I'll come back with the dry brush.
Like I've dug through all of our paint.
I wonder what the drawer would have looked like leaving the wood pattern on the front. It would have looked like wood and paint, which is also pretty. I didn't really love the tone of that wood. I feel like painting it gives it more of a country cottage vibe, where it kind of looked mid-century with the wood grain and the knob. Dana says liquid sunshine is intense. It is, and it has its place. I actually do love like bright paint finishes. I love like Debbie's Design Diary and Dion from the Turquoise Iris, the Turn Leg, Christina. Like they do all some like really bold, bright paint finishes that I love, but it's just not my style. It's kind of like telling Dion to paint something white or just blue and white. Like it's not our jam. We all kind of stick to our lane. Plus everything that we sell, if it doesn't sell on our website, winds up going in our shop. So we kind of need to have a cohesive vibe. Otherwise it looks really mishmash, which it kind of does anyways, because I'm kind of all over the place.
So I hope you guys vote French millinery, because I think it would actually pair really well with the aviary inside, because I'm going to stencil the front of this. I think something fun on the front. I also had Salty Kiss. I might, if you guys choose this, I might tone it back with some Bohemian Blue. Oop. Lid came off of that.
Or paint the floor with the lid.
I've got some Sea Glass, which I will also tone this back. I think you know what? It might be fun to mix these two and see what we get.
Oh, I think that would be really pretty. I say go with that.
let's see. Do you guys want me to do the French millinery? Because it's got to go with the green. So if you recommend something that doesn't go with the aviary, then I probably won't do that.
I actually have sold some really bright painted furniture here in Utah.
All right, so to narrow it down, these are the two options. Do you want to see a mix of Salty Kiss with boho blue, or do you want to see French millinery with sea glass?
The paint inlay will not stick to wax. It has to be, because it's paint, so essentially it fuses to paint. So it has to be paint on paint, or you could use liquid patina if you do like a blended paint finish, and you could use liquid patina and embed it in that, because it's not a transfer, it's actual paint, so it's just kind of a little different. I've got a little bit of the paint inlay where I don't want it, so I'm gonna paint over it.
All right, I'm gonna give you guys like a minute or two. I'm gonna leave Jami up here by herself again.
Oh man.
You're doing good. You had a lot of story time last time when I was over there finding paints. I got to go get a stencil I want to do on the front of that.
I have the gift of gab. When I worked at, I volunteered at a nursing home when I was a teenager. And they used to give me to the nonverbal people because they still wanted people to visit them, but they needed somebody that could carry on a conversation with themselves. And I have a very special set of skills in that department. So it worked out well. I was in charge of that and activities. So I did bingo. I also helped get people to lunch, which was always fun. I may have popped a few wheelies in wheelchairs, which may or may not have been against the rules, but the residents liked it. It's funny because now my son works in a nursing home and loves it, and I think he kind of gets that from me. I did push them around. My mom says she remembers. I did pop a Willie's. That's what I just said. You missed it. She wanted to make sure that I told you that we popped Willie's in the wheelchair. A French millinery and sea glass is what Belinda says.
All right.
Jane laughed, says she loved it. I mean, I know it's not a shock to any of you guys that I can carry on a conversation with myself.
All
My
right, we
favorite
haven't
was
used this one, and it came in one of the packs.
Yeah, so that's the, I think that's the...
Spade and Cullison, wholesale and retail dealers in pure drugs and medicines.
Is that from the apothecary labels? I'm not sure. Caitlin, can you
think
look
it
up
is.
which stencil that is? It's
It
one
is.
of the new ones.
So I think I'll do it right there,
That's cute.
and it'll span that. All right, what are we getting
I think we
vote-wise?
should include that stencil in the craft kit.
Okay.
What does my son do in the nursing home? He is a CNA, and he's also
He's a med tech.
med tech.
He does the meds.
So he passes out meds. He's probably also works as an orderly because he's
He does.
built exactly.
If they pass away because of some COVID protocols, he has to take them out to the coroner.
Yeah, he lifts a lot of people. He helps people up that are fall risks. So he's built like Zeb. He's a little thinner because he's younger and he works out, but yeah, that's what he does.
He'll tell you he's thicker.
He does it like kind of part-time because he works full-time, like 50 hours a week for a trash company. Some weeks he works about 100 hours, but he works at the nursing home because he really loves it.
He's scheduled for 104 hours this week. Jamie's doing his laundry.
Yeah, that's well, we're all doing it. I actually had Eliza.
He's like, "Can you do this for me, Mom? I got to have clean scrubs, and I just don't have time to wash them."
I'm like, whatever. All right, I'm just dry brushing on some gray to add some tone variation to the outside.
All right, let me see. What did we vote?
I think you should mix them. Can you show the stencil again? Caitlin wasn't looking at the screen just to make sure which pack it goes with. Yeah, Caitlin, he will show you.
Sea glass combo.
This isn't really a dry brush because my brush was wet. It's almost like a wash. That's okay.
I'm only seeing sea glass combo.
Yeah.
Am I missing?
No, that's French millinery alone. See, I want to do the combo. When does he sleep? He doesn't.
He doesn't really. I mean, he goes home and he crashes right out. All right. So I only saw people voting for French millinery or the combo. So we're going to do the combo. I'm going to try just a little. Oh, it's thick. This is what happens when we get busy doing projects and don't
Put the lids on
Get
things.
the lids back on.
All right. This just has kind of gray along the edge, almost like a wash because my brush was wet. And we've got the birds of paradise in the middle. So I'm going to set the inlay. This next step is important.
All right, so that's how much French millinery I've got, just a dab of it there. And I'm going to go a little bit less with the sea glass because it's super bright. We'll see what we get. Do we have a brush that's... Here, I'll just wash my brush.
I'm hoping this works. You should empty this out. You should not leave your Big Top and water mixer in your sprayer because it'll gum things up.
Yeah.
I don't follow the rules. So this is half Big Top and half water. And I'm praying that it sprays out. You want to set your inlay before you distress it, seal it, whatever, so it doesn't smear. This is the easiest way I've found to do that. If you have like sealer in an actual like paint sprayer, that would also work. Please work, even though I did not take care of you. Nope.
It looks like you gummed it up. Oh, it's going out the side.
It's coming out. It's coming out.
All right, so there's my drops after they flattened.
You did not fail me, you little water girl. All right, so I'm just going to let this dry. And this is sealing my paint inlay.
So the sea glass is making this French millinery more of a brighter purple.
Oh, it may have sprayed the
Which purple and
laptop.
Green? Oh, don't seal my laptop, please.
It came out the side. Hold on, I got to wipe this off.
Okay. Sorry, Caitlin. I'm getting back to you. It's the Spade and Cullison Pure Drugs and Medicines, wholesale and retail dealers.
So I'm moving this around. If you're using these cottage colors, they do have a built-in sealer. So if you don't move your heat gun around, you will get bubbles. So just know that. Now, it is a good way to try the paint inlay, doing it like this. It is a really simple way. And it only took 1 sheet out of 8 sheets. And I will use that sheet again for another project. So yeah. I love to look at the bright item, but not for my house. I feel that. I like neutrals. Oh, I also sprayed my phone. It's not the first time. Let's see. Somebody said they loved the color, but I moved fast and I couldn't see it. How is Zeb doing on the meds? I think you're doing okay with your new thyroid medication.
Yep.
In case you didn't follow along, Zeb was diagnosed about a month ago with Hashimoto's disease.
We're on week 5.
Week 5. So he's off gluten, he's off sugar. I'm kind of off those things, but not really because I don't have Hashimoto's, so I do cheat every now and then.
I've now lost 17 pounds in 4.5 weeks.
I've lost like 6 or 7 pounds, so I'm happy with that. I do have an underactive thyroid, so it's best for me not to eat gluten or eat sugar either. But Renee says she loves that color. Of course Renee does. Purple is Renee's color. It is her jam.
What do you think about doing like a white wax over the whole thing once I get it stenciled?
If you distress it, so that way some of the wood grain comes through, I think it could be really pretty. How many applications will you get from a paint inlay? So I've done up to 3 applications with them. The first one is always going to be the brightest, and then it just gets chippier and lighter with each application. And if you do your paint too thick, just know like a little bit of the paint's going to like transfer on to the next project. But I really like that look. It gives you like a layered paint finish look. This bird's missing a head. I don't know what I did there, but didn't transfer over. I think maybe it's from when I moved the the inlay.
That was just about the perfect amount of paint. I'm scraping this bowl that I used to mix it.
Hey, Rashonda, she's just joining in here. What are Zeb's symptoms? He actually didn't have any symptoms that he was aware of other than weight gain. But he's also just turned 40. So like Weight gain is
I was
kind of
just
part of that.
attributing it to being older.
Yeah.
I wasn't 25 anymore.
144 decor. She says she's more of a Lehigh purple versus French millinery, so really deep violet. I wear a lot of Lehigh purple. I actually just got
It's a
some
really bright jewel tone.
purple Birkenstocks, like the plastic ones. I had some. My kids use a lot of things from Dick's Sporting Goods, and I had some extra Dick's cash to spend, and I bought myself some purple Birks.
Look at how well that purple is pairing with the aviary. So what I did to get that, I would say a third sea glass. So 1 part sea glass to 2 parts French millinery. So, and this is what the French millinery looks like without the sea glass in it, to kind of give you a, it's not a ton different, but it is definitely deeper and a little richer.
Do you have sandpaper? Because I think I might want to sand the edge.
I can go get you some sandpaper.
This is where we're at now. It has been sealed. A little bit of the wood tannins are coming through, so there's like a little bit of bleed through, but I think it gives it a nice aged look. And I want the outside to kind of match the distress that I'm getting in the inside. So I'm going to lightly sand it to bring out some of the wood tones in that. But I could stop right here because it's now sealed. You would probably want to put 1 more coat of sealer over the top of the inlay, so that way if people use it with like a drink or whatever, but I'll do that later once it's all the way dry. And Caitlin did just drop the link for business coaching. She got that updated and on the website with the new recurring memberships, because she's the bomb.com. She's the peas to my carrots. What?
Do we have any black?
Black. No.
I need like a dark black on this, I think. Let me go look.
I think you could stencil it in the gray because it dries pretty dark. Is there weathered wood or old school? That would be a good look. People often ask, why do you distress everything? Because I like it.
Plain and simple.
Because me likey. This would be a lot faster if I was using my random orbital, but that's a little loud for TV. So I'm just going over the whole piece. And because there was some texture, the gray is kind of going down into the cracks, and it's bringing that Haint blue back. And then giving some of the wood grains around the edges. I'll show it to you up close in a minute.
What about a white on there? Do you think that would be okay?
What?
A white stencil.
It would look okay.
I'm wanting
it's not my first choice. I would say a dark gray would be good if you don't have a black.
Here's the thing. Do you have the gray over there?
Yes, I do. I used it to put a wash on.
That's why I can't find it.
I was going to do a dry brush, but my brush was wet and it turned into a wash. I even have a... Oh, you don't need... Do you need a stencil brush?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oops, I touched the inside and that's still wet. Actually, I feel like I need 1 more coat of aviary.
The nice thing is that this does distress well. I was worried about it because I had a built-in sealer. I thought it might get streaky or peely, but I haven't had a problem distressing it. It's like just shiny enough to seal it, but not so shiny that you can't distress it.
Since this is like a small little riser, I probably will paint the bottom. We might get around to that.
What are you doing?
I might paint the bottom since it's a riser, and you might.
Yeah, because you might see it. And Les isn't even here, but I painted the bottom. I always paint it for Les. All right. So here is my inlay up close. Again, I did not wait till it was completely dry, so it's a little bit imperfect, but of course, that's what I love. And then here is the edge. So I don't know if it's picking up on camera. It's kind of dark, but this is Haint blue, and then I did the gray wash and sanded it. And you can kind of see that blue coming back. Is that getting lighter?
Yeah, you're too close. It's not focusing. There you go.
And then it's just got a little bit of natural wear around the edges. When you distress something, it should never look like a cheetah with splotches. It should have like a wear around the edges and then maybe a little bit in the middle. So like this is where naturally over time it would wear, and probably off camera I'll sand it some more because I want it to be a little bit more worn, but I like my tray. To give you an idea on price, this would probably be like $28.95 on my website. So Zeb's is more because it's got feet. All right, I can help you. I'm all done. What can I do for you?
The stencil's clear and I lost it. Oh, here it is.
Stencil is clear and I lost it. Is the tote shown the current subscription item? Yes. So this is what's going to be shipped out the end of July, along with the wood, the paint, and a stencil. We intermittently will send brushes with the kits. Usually you either get like a really good brush that you can use over and over again, or a stencil. Like this time we're sending a stencil. So we'll send some like disposable brushes in case you don't have any, because I always want people to be able to finish the kit even if they don't have a brush from a previous kit. But yeah, this is coming with the next one. And everybody, like we don't have different ones. Everybody gets the same kit each time. Sometimes you'll get different paint colors.
But if you've been getting kits or have stencils of your own, you can do whatever stencil you want on there. We're going to send a stencil with the kit.
Barbara, where did you get the feet? So we have an old church that we purchased that had been converted into a house. And there was like a pony wall, like a half wall. And it had like these little, it had these and then a board on top. And when we did we pulled out everything in the chapel that had turned it into a house, we saved those little pieces. So, because we knew like when I saw them, I'm like, those will make great feet. So I think we have, how many more of these do we have?
I think we've got about 6 more.
6 more. So we'll see what we wind up using them for. Caitlin put what it comes with. Thank you. Diane says, I love that paint inlay. Paradise is really, really pretty. And when I saw it, I kind of thought, oh, that's definitely like a bohemian. But I feel like mixed with the Haint Blue, that it kind of goes French country. It's not quite so bright. It's a little bit duller. Or if you want a bohemian, you put it on like a really bold color. I guess while you're doing that, I'll just keep sanding this.
Close-up is coming in a sec.
What?
I don't know if this is going to dry dark enough. Well, I might have to do it twice to really get it deep on there.
Well, use the heat gun so that way it dries, because the cottage colors dry darker. Although when you seal that green, it's going to get dark too.
I'm going to white wax it, so we'll see.
Oh, okay. Okay. Jill says, you said dry brush, but there's wet paint on the brush. Jill, for sure, go back and watch the video that I put up last week where we talked about the property that we just purchased. It's like the picture is me painting something, and then there's our property in the background, because I talk in depth about it. But what it is you put the paint on the brush, and then you brush off most of the paint to where the brush is almost dry. And then you just swipe across the piece, or in his case, he's stenciling with an almost dry brush. Generally, when you do a dry brush technique, when you're done stenciling or dry brushing, the piece is dry because there's just very, very little paint. But if you want to see a dry brush technique on like small home decor thrifts, catch that video from last week. And maybe Caitlin, can you link that video from last week? It should be easy to find on YouTube.
That is very faint on there. I hope it gets darker.
I feel like that's good. Is it going to dry dark enough though? Could you not find old school?
I couldn't.
Maybe you should go white over the top.
There's some lantern in there that I could mix up.
No, I would, because what's going to happen is this green's going to go darker when you wax it.
This is playing off of the purple in there, and they look almost the same color.
They do.
The gray skies is looking purple. All right, that didn't go dark enough for me on that green.
How do we get the July kit? Linda, Caitlin dropped the link. You can scroll back, or you could just go to jamierickvintage.com, click subscriptions, and pick the craft kit subscription. And there's 2 ways to sign up. One is for recurring, which is the cheapest way, but it is a recurring. So you get billed every 3 months and you get a craft kit every 3 months. Unless you don't like cancel your subscription. And the other one is just a one-time only, and it's a little bit more expensive, but you only just get that one craft kit.
Okay, this is pitch black. I'm going to mix up some milk paint because I want it to be a pretty good contrast.
We could decoupage the inside, but ultimately it's going to be filled with something, so I don't know that people are really going to see the inside.
Yeah.
I'm just sanding the inside ledge of this now that it's dry.
I'm just going to use my brush to mix this up because it's just a little bit.
Oh, Caitlin, can you send the video from last week where it's me with the land in the background? That one is where I dry brushed a bunch of thrift hauls. Sorry, she was getting the links for something else. Deborah says, I'm totally addicted to your videos. I live in Canada.
Thanks, Deborah.
Well,
we're addicted to them too. We love making them.
If you guys are in Toronto and you ever see a member missionary with a name tag that says the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and it says Elder Smith, that's our next door neighbor. He just got his call and he's going to Toronto November. Yeah. He's like, I didn't even have that on my radar. I think he wanted to go somewhere like tropical because his mom's Micronesian.
Yeah.
And they love warm weather, but they also he likes to ski. Not that missionaries ski, but I told him, I said, you'll love it because all Canadians are nice, which I don't understand because it's so cold. Like, I don't think they would get enough sunshine, but just something like embedded in them. I've never met a Canadian that wasn't just super nice and kind.
Hopefully,
hey,
I got this dry enough. My milk paint was a little watery. I probably should thicken it up. Worst case scenario, wipe it off real quick, and then I can repaint this.
Caitlin just dropped the link to the video from last week that has me dry brushing smaller items. Dry brushing takes just a little bit of practice. Once you get the feel for it, you'll love it because it adds texture to pieces with really not a lot of effort. And it just doesn't take any paint. Is Rex a golden doodle or a labradoodle? So we've been told that he's a golden doodle.
He looks just like golden doodles. He's just black.
Yeah, and the curly tail is common.
Yeah, it means his poodle mom was probably, or dad, whatever, was dominant.
He's back there staring at me.
Was probably black-haired.
What do you want?
Poodles, golden doodles come in like a whole rainbow of colors. You can get them pretty much any color.
We need to fatten him up. He's like skinny down the midsection. We're going to call the vet and make sure that's okay. It may just be because he's a gangly teenager now. Hi, Rex. You guys might see there's his little head popping up. He's actually, breed-wise, I would say golden doodles are definitely more chill than schnoodles because he is so chill. Sometimes he gets annoyed and will bark and growl at Cody like, shut up, stop barking. Because he's like, you're going to get in trouble. And because Rex is just such a chill dog. And
he's
Cody,
definitely the better behaved of the two. Yeah. Rex knows the rules and Cody breaks the rules.
Cody sleeps in our room on a mat and we let Rex sleep downstairs because he follows the rules.
Because he doesn't eat all the furniture or shred stuff.
Stephanie, I will seal again. I just want to make sure it's all the way dry in the middle. That looks
so
good.
I got a little, I'm going to have to distress it. I got a little too much on this one side, but most of it looks pretty good.
Yeah, stenciling with milk paint is a little tricky because it's thinner, but it can be done.
Now it looks authentic.
Yeah, that looks good.
So there it is with the legs.
Marcia says all the doodles I've been around were thin. Oh, that's good to know. I think it's just the poodle. Like he has that physique. You know how you see them and they're like big barrel chested and then skinny by the hips.
Well, he has access to food all day. We've never limited him because when we got him, he was underweight anyway. And I keep saying, okay, we're going to put him on like a feed in the morning, feed in the evening kind of situation. Like that's pretty good for most dogs, but he seems underweight to me. So I just let him eat whatever he wants.
I had to stop myself the other day when the rescue organization had a Bernedoodle that was black. So it was
the same place we got these two guys.
Yeah, but his name is Max and he would be about 70 pounds.
So the reason they had him is because his owners had him, and then he ate an entire sock, and he got it all the way down in, and he had to have surgery, and they couldn't afford the surgery.
And I don't think they were like equipped to handle that active of a dog. But the problem is he has to be in a crate when you leave, which would be like weird because my other dogs are not crated. So I just think it would cause a problem.
Is what they said.
You can't leave him home alone, not in a crate. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to pass on Max because I'm a little too busy for that. I can't commit to that kind of dog situation. These dogs, we just make sure like the doors are shut and there's no paper towels down low, and they're usually like they're fine for
with
hours.
your mom home, they're usually not left home alone more than like 20 minutes.
Courtney says most doodles are more fluff than stuff. True story. Where are you located in Utah? We are in Lehi, Utah. Our store right now is on Main Street. And our new store is going to be on, is it 500 West?
Yeah, 1190 North, 500 West is the address. That's where the church is at.
Are you going to paint underneath when we're not live anymore?
No, I think we have time.
We have time?
How long have we been going?
Oh, you have 8 minutes.
Yeah, I can paint the bottom.
But I thought you were going to white wax that.
Oh, that's a good Waste Not Wednesday. We got 608 people watching right now.
Woot.
Thanks for joining us today. Hopefully you learned something. Maybe a little of what not to do and some of what you want to try.
Let's see. Renee, which is my sister, said Mom is always worried if she can't hear them. Yeah, they could. In fact, I don't know what Cody's chewing on right now. They run the house. All the reasons I didn't want a dog, they do. But also, I love them. So
you
I
let
guess
them. I completely missed.
You missed that leg, yeah.
Can you wash this out for me so I can paint that leg in the bottom?
I know.
You're the one that they were real good about not getting on the couch, and then you started letting Cody get on the couch.
Okay, Cody was never good about not getting on the couch from like the very beginning. But
and now Rex is like, this is where I live.
Rex sleeps on the couch on a blanket every night. So now to protect my white couch, there's just blankets all over it, which isn't very attractive, but we live here, so whatever.
The kids usually have the blankets out anyway, watching TV or whatever.
I give up. The house now belongs to the dogs. If I need to take pretty photos, I'll just tidy it up for a second. And the cover is washable on the big couch. All right, I'm going to dry this off real quick.
Okay. Trying to be random with my distressing and close my eyes, but I still can't do it. It still ends up being patterned.
I'm better at random distressing. Actually, no, I'm going to get this brush. Do not leave the cottage colors on your brush because it's a built-in sealer. Put it in water and then clean it pretty quickly. Otherwise, you will be sad. If you do, you guys, if you buy the Kling-Ons, you never want to get, this is a good pro tip I'll give you. You don't want the ferrule, which is the metal part, to be in water, but you can soak the tip up to where the paint line is and then let it sit for a few hours. Yeah, don't go past the metal part. Let it sit for hours, and then they clean really well. It's one of the joys of Kling-Ons. They actually make like a holder where it like holds your paintbrush up, but I just use a cup.
Do you want to find me some wax? I think I got time to wax this.
Caitlin says, I have a sign in my living room that says, sorry about the mess, but we live here. True. True story. And there's a lot of people that live here. All right. What
do we want to wax this? Do we want to just go, do we want to clear wax it? And
I think clear wax is what I would do, but it's up to you. I mean, it's your project. So what do you think?
We can just clear wax it. And then if we feel like it needs more, we can white wax it later.
Yeah, it just won't, like if you clear wax it first, it won't adhere as much. The question remains, do I have like a wax brush you can clear wax with? All my brushes are like rusty.
So we were talking the other day, we need to take like a day because we've been so busy running around doing all the things. We do these projects and then we don't clean up after them. We need to take a day and like reorganize all the tools, all the paints, all the craft stuff, because it's getting out of control and we're having trouble finding things we need.
All right, this is not the best brush because it's crusty, but I think it's mostly clean, so you can clear wax with it. Do you distress and sand before or after you seal a paint? So I usually do it after. I distress before and then I seal. Like in this case, it has a built-in sealer, so
distress, we always distress first. I mean, very rarely do we distress after we seal. Unless we want it to be two-toned, we seal and then do another coat of paint on that, and then we distress, and then we seal. Does that make sense?
We might have just thrown out a lot of information. Distress first, seal later.
Yeah, there you go.
Except for this has a built-in sealer, so you don't really have a choice. See if there's any more questions.
All right.
Nope, we're good. Jen says my sheepadoodles eat socks all the time and they're thin. That put them on probiotics. Oh, all right. Maybe we should try probiotics because they're getting bigger but not filling out.
Yeah, he grew. He got real tall real quick. But like 2 months ago, he was 40 pounds and now he's only 48. And he's gotten quite a bit taller. And every now and then, we call him our discount hip puppy because he's from the puppy mill.
Well, we got him from a rescue.
Every now and then, like when he stands up, it looks like he's having trouble like standing up. And I want to chalk it up to maybe he just grew really fast and he's kind of gangly and his muscles got to catch up.
I think he might have been overbred.
But yeah, we also are concerned that because he's from a puppy mill, the kids call him discount hips sometimes because we rescued him. So he wasn't like $3,000 like most golden doodles are. Yeah. But he'll be fine. We'll make him a little wheelchair to drag himself around if he has trouble.
That's also the reason he sleeps downstairs because sometimes at the end of the day, he's not interested in going upstairs. So we just leave him down here. But Cody, if you leave him down here, for whatever reason, he'll poop first thing in the morning. So if he sleeps in our room,
because he's got to go, or probably around 5:30. But if he's in our room, he'll hold it till 7.
Yeah. Sometimes he sleeps with Eliza.
Okay, wax time.
Wax. I've got all ready for you. I'm just sitting here with my finished project.
Oh, you're right. That brush is a little stiff.
I tried to loosen it up for you. The gray looks better now that it's dry. It will get darker.
It's going to darken up, and then it's going to come back somewhere in between.
And the green is definitely going to get dark, and then it'll dry lighter. I'm glad you did go with the black milk paint, though, because that is going to dry pretty dark.
So this is what we call the wax freakout factor, especially with the DIY paint because it's clay-based. It sticks to everything, but also it's so porous. Don't worry, this will tone back and be somewhere in between. It won't stay this dark.
And sometimes it's splotchy for about 24 hours. It can stay splotchy if you've got grease underneath that you didn't get off. But for the most part, after 24 hours, you can like buff it out and it smooths out. So don't freak out. Give it a day and then buff it.
Cody, it's Odelia.
Cody. If somebody
Yes,
comes
can you guys hear Cody? He doesn't bother to see who it is. He's a bark first, ask permission later kind of guy.
Is that clear wax? Yes, we're just using clear wax on it. That looks good. Are you gonna wax the inside?
Yeah, in a sec. I'm gonna get all the green done and then brush my brush.
You know
off.
what? It also looks like it's got a little bit of a
Yeah, where the gray was.
Yeah, it's where the lighter gray was. Like
yeah.
What's it called? Shadow.
Yeah, I shaded it a little.
So if you take and wipe, let me get you a dry rag real quick.
Let me do these feet real fast so that it doesn't look super weird. The bottom's still wet, so I'll wait for that to dry.
I actually don't love a cluttered, messy house, but I also know that there's seasons of life. Like right now, we're working on the church nonstop, so I give myself grace. But once we're not working on the church all the time, like I can't stand, because we always have projects everywhere. I try to keep like the island clean. I like the main living area picked up swept, mopped, and then everywhere else, whatever. I did clean my bathroom last night for like the first time. Don't judge me, in a month. And I feel so much better. What do you want me to do?
Get that green off there for me.
Okay. So sometimes when you wax, you'll get color transfer. So I'm just wiping the tip of this brush off to try to get the green off there before he waxes that purple gray color. Linda ordered her craft kit. Woo woo, Linda.
Well, look at, so you can see, because I sanded and distressed before, the dust from this DIY paint, because it powders, is all over in the wax.
Well, and it will pick up some of the pigment. Like, don't freak out if when you're sealing some of the paint comes up. That just happens because you're activating the paint. If you want none of the paint to come up, then you have to brush a light coat of sealer on first, let it dry completely.
When she says light coat, like feather it on.
Yeah, just light coat. Do not overwork the paint, let it dry, and then seal again, because that can happen.
Oh, we lost a little bit of the stencil. Let me bring it close. Like I said, it'll lighten up.
Oh, that's so cute.
But it's looking like
no,
an
I like
old
that a lot.
crate that's.
I bet Jane likes that because that's like her favorite color is aviary.
And some of the wood came back through.
And everybody that wanted the wood grain, look, it's back. Don't worry.
All right. Now you got most of the green off.
I just painted a pie safe with half Sweetie Jane, half pantry door. That's my favorite mix. I have many things painted that color in my house. Is the craft kit on your shopping site? I need everything. Got my 8 decoupage papers. Yes. So Marcia, if you go to Jami Ray Vintage, on the main menu, it'll say like subscriptions, and you can click that, and then you can add the craft kit to it.
We might do, this is, I mean, totes come in many styles. Like down the road, we may do one that's got like a taller handle. There's a couple different styles I wanted to do, but I settled on this one because I thought it was pretty utilitarian. And Jamie's big French canning jars fit in this one.
Denise, where did you find the group to rescue the dogs? So Wasatch Animal Rescue is where Cody and Rex came from, but then there's like Love for Paws or something like that. And
they work through that. That's their, that's
yeah,
like
Love
site.
for Paws. I believe that's what it's called. I can't remember. But they actually work with a bunch of different rescues, and they list on there. So you can check that out too. Eric Bowden's on here. Hi, my friends. It's been a minute. It has been
Eric,
a minute.
how are you doing?
What are you guys up to? Is it for the love of paws? I don't know. I think I shared like on my personal page. Let me look it up. I shared Max because I really wanted him, but then I realized I cannot have him. And I believe that the website's on there. Hearts for Paws, Utah. That's what it's called. Hearts, the number 4, Paws, Utah. And Denise, I think you can see my personal page. If you do, just go to the post about Max, and there's a hyperlink to Hearts for Paws. I see you got a new heat gun. We did get 2. Caitlin ordered us 2 new Wagners. So far, hands down, these are the best heat guns that we've had. They hold up to a lot of abuse, a lot of dropping. The last one did die, but it was like it lasted for many
like
projects.
2 years old, which we do hundreds of projects in the course of a couple years. All right.
You had a very busy project there. I'm like done. Hence the joy of the single step paint, though. I was done 30 minutes ago. It's totally different. Like I still love the DIY because there's a look that you can get with it you can't get with this, but again.
I will finish waxing this once the bottom dries. We just painted that, so the paint's still wet. And this will tone back. Jami will probably put a finished pic on the website if you guys want to catch that. Or, you know, we'll maybe post them in community.
Thanks for joining us. You can pick up these products at jamirayvintage.com. That way you can finish all your random things from your garage or thrift adventures. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more
DIY.
Bye, guys.
Let's say you got a drawer that you just, you know, you got rid of the whole dresser.
Now the question is the knob going back on?
Oh, let me put the knob on real fast.
Is it going to look weird?
We said bye, but let's do it.
Yeah, we said bye, but people know that that's not always the end.
It's never the end.
Do you like the knob on there?
I like a knob.
Okay. There you go.
It just blocks the end on the stencil.
Yeah, it still works. I like it.
Once that tone's back, that stencil will be able to read it really well again. All right.
Okay.
Now we're going.
Now we're really going. Bye, guys. Whoops, I dropped my phone.